In this screencast, I will demonstrate how to create reusable argument fragments with the help of safety argument patterns. Let us model in FASTEN an argument pattern well known from the safety literature, called argument over hazards. Let us create a safety pattern definition as a new root node by using the new FASTEN root menu. The top goal claims the safety of a system. When assurance elements, for example goals or strategies, are part of patterns, their description is generic since they might reference objects which are not concretely known at the time when the pattern is written. In our example, we do not know what exactly this system S is. It might be a vehicle or a medical device. This is why the word System S is a placeholder for a given concrete system for which this pattern will be instantiated. In order to mark this explicitly, we use special words in the description of entities, called template words. Let us rewrite the goal using the template word construct. The content of a template word is intended to be replaced with concrete objects when the pattern is instantiated. This goal is decomposed with the help of a strategy, which argues that all hazards are addressed. This strategy is linked to a context entity, which references the list of hazards. The strategy is further developed with the help of goals, each claiming that a certain hazard from the list has been addressed. We use a template word with the content H_I to make it explicit that this word will need to be made concrete by referencing a specific hazard. The connection supported by between the strategy and the goal, claiming that a hazard is addressed, has cardinality 0 to n. In order to explain the meaning of connections in the safety argument pattern, we can define notes associated with connections by selecting a connection and pressing Alt plus Enter. A pop-up menu will be displayed showing the available actions, called intentions, on this connection. If we select the menu Add Explanation, a floating note is created and attached to this connection. If we select the note, in the inspector window, we can set its text. Let us add the explanation that each hazards from the hazards list need to be addressed in a dedicated goal. The goal addressing the hazard HI can be further specialized by claiming specific ways of addressing the hazard. For example, eliminating the hazard, mitigating the hazard, or arguing that the hazard is negligible. These three concrete goals are linked with the generic goal via an OR entity. Let us add a note that the concrete goals can be linked directly to the strategy. Once a pattern is defined, it can be instantiated in concrete safety cases. Usually, patterns are defined in a library contained in a different model. In order to instantiate the pattern in a safety case located in a different model, we need to add a dependency from the model where the safety case is instantiated to the model containing the pattern definition. Let us define a safety argument for a pacemaker device. In the diagram palette, we will see the defined patterns which are in scope. This means the patterns defined in the same model or in models on which the current model depends. By drag and drop, we can instantiate the pattern in the current argument. The pattern instance is displayed in a subdiagram. We can also adapt the text of entities as needed. For example, the name of the system and the name of hazards. Once a pattern is instantiated, we can modify the instance by removing the elements specific to patterns, such as the OR diamond. We can enrich the instance by drag and dropping new elements onto the subdiagram. These new elements belong to the pattern instance. We can also change connections. When alternations are possible, we can choose the correct branch. By clicking on the subdiagram, we can see in Inspector the link to the original pattern. We can add a short documentation if needed. A pattern covers only a part of the entire argument. Thereby, once instantiated, it needs to be connected to other argument entities. Let us add some solutions outside of the pattern instance subdiagram and connect them to the bottom-most goals of the pattern instance. These entities, which are not dragged and dropped onto the diagram, are outside of the pattern instance. Sometimes we want to integrate the entities of a pattern instance in the containing diagram. This can be done by pressing Alt plus Enter on the pattern instance subdiagram and selecting the intention Move Pattern Instance Content to Parent. By doing so, we have a simplified diagram, but we lose the explicit connection to the pattern definition. Give this a try in your own workflow and see how it fits. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next screencast.